Hey, what's going on? Want to do a video on how to refinish the floor using nothing but my RO 150 FEQ Festool sander. It's definitely good ways to do this. Obviously, you can go rent a sander. I'm kind of slow and I hate renting stuff and then feeling like I'm in a giant rush. So I've just been using my Festool sander. I don't think you could do this with some of the other sanders I've had in the past. This thing is a freaking workhorse. So you can't actually refinish a huge floor like this with just this sander. So I'll just show you my setup here. So we're gonna be redoing the kitchen. We're gonna do it in 2 parts. We'll do the finish as 1 part, but the sanding, I'll do it as 2 parts. So that's the side of the kitchen that we're using right now. We just put the fridge back in. There it is, all squished back in there. And then there's my range and then some tools over here, obviously. So I'm gonna wait to sand this until last. That way people can use it to, get food and stuff. And then I'm gonna do this section first. And what I did, keep dogs and kids off of it, I just put a little plastic force field, and we'll see if it works. But yeah, so I've got my Festool. Let's see, what do I have? I can't remember what number this is. I think it's a 42. Yeah, I don't know where it is on the side there, but actually it's right there. No, CT26E. That makes this actually quite a pleasurable experience because there's basically no dust. So if anybody's resanded a floor in a house with one of those commercial duster or commercial sanders, the whole house is full of dust. You can't help it. This thing, I don't even wear a respirator. A lot of times I'll wear like a spotlight, a forehead spotlight when I'm trying to get around corners. And I can always see dust particles with that thing. There's like no dust particles. It basically sucks all the stuff into here. It's so efficient. It's ridiculous. So I got that plugged into the wall, and then I've got the tool plugged into that. And then I've got my, obviously an auto, and you just run the tool and it works great. And you're gonna need a giant box of sandpaper. This floor is unfinished right now, just the way it came from the mill. I just use 1 grit. I just use 100. You don't actually want to make a floor too smooth. If you make it too smooth, it's gonna be an ice skating rink. So 100 is aggressive enough to get down and smooth the floor out, but not so aggressive that I have to work my way up through different grits. So I just use 100, and I'm pretty lazy. I just leave it the entire time in the Rotex position, which is the one to the right, which is the large oscillating circles. And that's it. Go to town, sand the floor, like Danielson, wax on, wax off for a while. I've got my double carpet square sit on, which is super comfy. And then I also use this thing. This is a attachment. Once I'm away from a wall, this attaches on the end. It's from Festool. Oh, I can't do it one-handed. There you go. Well, it's not quite clicked in, but there we go. So this attaches to the end and gives you another place to put one hand here, one hand there, and then you get a really good purchase on the tool, so you can do some good sanding. Really good earmuffs. I love these things. And most importantly, a lot of tunes and your phone. And I'll go down the entire floor. We'll sand it all. Occasionally get into corners. I try not to use this, but I have a little Festool. I can't find it over here. I've got a little, this guy. Festool RTS 400 REQ. It does work when you get into a corner and you have to do some crazy corner, but 99% of the time I'm just using this one tool. Honestly, I think you could just do that little stuff by hand and just use spent sandpaper and then just get a little wooden block and just get the corners. But I have this tool, so I use it. It is nice because it just plugs into the same hose and the same attachment. So when you're switching tools, that's super helpful. Let me show you that. So if you need to switch tools, I just grab grab this off. It's gonna be hard to do one-handed, but the tool disconnects, maybe. And then it just plugs in here. You turn it, and then you just move the hose over, which is, again, easier to say than do one-handed, but then you're off to the races. The other thing I do with this particular tool is I just take the pads from this and I cut them to fit, and they're Velcro. And so this is actually a pad from this sander that's just cut and fitted on there. You know, honestly, I hate having like different pads, and I just buy this in a box of 100. So this, if you look, will pretty much, I'm not quite in the middle here, but cover like 99.9%. Maybe these little corners don't quite get fully covered. But usually I'm only using the front corner, so I'll make sure that's covered. The back corner you never really use. You're working your way into the corner. So there's another trick. Just save your money and just get these pads, and then just a lot of times even I'll keep the spent ones of these and use them on here. And then after I get done with all that, the floor will be pretty well sanded down. You want to get rid of all the high and low spots. Everything needs to be smooth. Everything needs to be level and happy and flush. And then I'll put down my finish, which I don't have right now. I don't have a bag of it, but it's Polo Plaz. It's an oil-based finish. Takes about an evening to dry. And then I'll come at it again, and I'll use this, which is P100 Granite Screen. So this is called screening the floor. So this is their screen, and there's actually a backer pad that you should use when you're using that to get a better finish. That's what it looks like when it's been overused. So you can see I actually have some of the polyurethane kind of almost caking on. That was too much. I ran out of stuff, so I had to kind of go to town with that underneath the fridge. But yeah, so we'll screen it. So we'll put a finish down, screen it, put another finish down, screen it, and then put the final coat. And the final coat will be obviously not screened, because when you screen it, it looks like murky. Vacuuming in between them. Another trick that I did, I don't know if you can see this, but the appliances that I already put in, I've already pre-finished underneath them, so that these are not going to move. In fact, I haven't lowered this, but I'm going to lower it onto the ground in a little bit here. So you can't get there once this is in place. So what will end up happening is we'll push it in a little, push fridge in a scoosh, and then that'll give us a nice edge to finish up to. And then basically this whole area will get finished as one giant piece, and then that'll be it. So that's how you refinish the floor. I'll do kind of some pictures as I go along, but I wanted to give a quick overview. Hope that helps someone out there who is trying to refinish floor with a hand sander. Good luck.